Now I know what I did wrong.
Oh, well, you have to go live and then press the other button.
Yeah, the go live button got hidden on the last update. Oh, interesting. So even if I go live early, it won't start until the appointed time. Oh, wait, yes, it will. It was just slow. Okay. YouTube is up and running. I'm going to try Twitch. Little scared. If I could figure out where I put Twitch on here. What the heck? Oh, here we go. All right, hitting that button. Connecting. Okay. Oh, it tells me I'm live on Twitch. Hey, it's working. Maybe. We'll see. Would you look at that? Oh, I should have made a Twitch bot command to take you to empowered extras. Oh, I didn't think of that. That's what I should have done. All right, now my mic's back. Okay. Looks like everything's running according so far, so good.
I hear audio. Like, I have the chat open from the other one, so what happens?
Hell yeah. I'm gonna I should have made a Twitch bot command. I didn't think of that. Ah, well, that's a thing for next time. I haven't been on Twitch in over a year.
Did they give you like fireworks, like welcome back?
Oh, I wish. It just told me someone followed me like a week ago. Oh, no, that was when Hav was streaming my stream. That makes the most sense. Oh, and when I finally did log in when Hav was running the stream of the stream, it was like, "Hey, people got rewards from you. You have to do them." I was like, "Oh, what now?" There was like 12 requests from Ace. I was like, "Huh? Ace, you could just send me a message."
I'm actually surprised. I for I didn't realize that I'd actually gone through some of the empowered extras.
I got notes.
I have smaller notes, but one of them looking at seems very angry, and I'm
Ooh.
pretty sure
Oh.
pretty sure.
I'm going to lower him. It's still attenuating to me, even though I said don't attenuate ever on both machines. But it's definitely that the laptop hears me speaking and then attenuates, which is weird because even if I mute the laptop's internal mic, it still does that.
Hmm.
But upgrading that machine to Windows 10 updated the audio drivers in some way, so it's way louder than it was before. So I'm okay with that. I'm not going to say no. Things are working. You don't. on this plugin, you don't get a. Oh, that's weird. Reload, I guess. Huh? What the heck? Okay, I don't know how that happened. But on this plugin, it doesn't like give you any visual indicators. It just says how long you've been streaming on whatever else you're connected to, and then what that upload signal strength is, and then how many frames a second you're going. But it's not like OBS that gives you like there's visual indicators and then it tells you like when you've dropped frames.
Hmm.
Oh, but it's working. The that noise I made before was because it just popped open a new tab for no reason and was like, "Do you want to reload this page? Reload this page? Reload this page?" And I was like, "Oh, are we starting? Is this what you're gonna do to me?" You guys can't see this window, so I'm going to close it. I don't know why that window was open anyway. That was to see my Twitch chat. Hello, Twitch world. It's been a while.
Oh yeah. When was the last? What does it say was your last Twitch day?
Oh, man. Let's find out. The last time I streamed. Oh, it won't. Hmm. It won't tell me that, but it will tell me the last time that I. Oh, let me see. I made a Twitch highlight on. Oh, the mobile interface won't tell you. That sucks. It just says 1 year ago, but I'm pretty sure it's been more than a year.
It was Saints Row 2, right?
Yeah,
Or Saints
the
Row
new
remake.
Saints Row. Yeah. I'm gonna move the page, see if anything craps out. No? Awesome. So far, so good. What up, Evil? You restarted Twitch for me, so now I gotta stream on Twitch. But finding out that multi RTMP exists, amazing. I wasn't paying for Restream or whoever else. It wasn't gonna happen. Mm. Just for anyone else who's out there watching, because I'm going to be dual streaming, I'm not going to put any of. I'll never make one of the chats visible. Um, that sounds weird, but when Twitch changed their like affiliate requirements, it used to be that anything that you uploaded on Twitch, you couldn't upload anywhere else for 24 hours. They got rid of that, but what they added instead was you can stream on as many platforms as you want simultaneously, but if your Twitch stream shows chats from other services, like if they're visible on your screen, then they can not only demonetize you, they can take away your affiliate status. And again, that's gonna be like a super hard thing for them to police, but it's still something to worry about. So I'm just
Mm.
not gonna have the chats be visible. But if you're watching on YouTube, you can see the chat replay. That will be visible later when it becomes a VOD. So at least on YouTube, you can see what people are talking about. We'll obviously try to bring up whatever people are saying on Twitch as well, but it won't be visible on the screen.
Hey, sorry I'm late.
No worries.
Welcome, welcome.
It's good to see you guys, or at least your icons.
Yeah!
Howdy.
So far, everything's working, and I'm so happy.
We can neither confirm nor deny that we're talking from the other side of the solar eclipse.
Oh god,
The
I am
power!
so glad that's over.
I can imagine that.
Yeah.
But we are back with part 4 of Empowered Extras, or rather, the Empowered by you, Tundra Boy, which is going to be Empowered Extras, which is a supplement to the supplement of a homebrew class.
Because this is D&D, and you can go all the way down the rabbit hole.
I've been going through my bookmarks on the side and stuff, just going through stuff. So if you're in the campaign, or something I brought up is making my repository a perk reward for being a member or a patron on Patreon. I've been adding to that slowly. But I was looking through a supplement the other day where the person had like, not only did he have a change log, but in his supplement it was like, this is the thing that we tried in this version, and you can see the public's like responses to it under here. And I was like, this is not an academic journal. Like you don't have to go that far into it, my guy.
I mean, that's a
Yeah,
strong level of dedication. I gotta give him that at least.
True,
I'll
true,
give him
true.
credit. Way too many clicks for me.
Yeah, yeah, no, not for me. But we did go through we went through all of the original document. So if you missed any of those, you can check out the VODs. They're all on YouTube. Eventually, this video will also have cards, so links that'll take you to the previous episodes if you want to catch up. If you want to follow along with us tonight, in the description of this video on YouTube right now, you can go and check out the Empowered Extras page so you can follow along with us as you go, or you can read ahead if you want to for some reason. For those of you on Twitch, I forgot to make a bot command, but I can keep copy pasting the link. So if any of you want to follow along, you jump in at some point and you can just be like, hey, how do I get there? I can copy pasta that link for you in the chat.
I actually did the homework this time. I have read the whole thing, and I have thoughts.
Yes! That's what I like to hear. Oh, speaking of that, who is here right now? I'm Okami or Kage. You can call me DM or DM Kage or Okami. I don't care. Or Scott. People know me on the internet as either. But I am joined by 3 other DMs today. If you guys would like to introduce yourselves.
Not everyone all at once. I'm DM Bacon, longtime lover, not as long as some out there, of tabletop RPGs.
And who's next?
I am DM Shin. Also sometimes go by Mad Alchemy on the internet and various places. I do have an addiction to math rocks, aka dice, so tabletop RPGs are kind of a favorite of mine, and I'm glad to be here with you guys again for another fun episode and to get to go into the last step of this.
I am DM Lacara. I have been tiptoeing around the world of TTRPGs for most of my life, playing 5e for about 3 years. 5 years? 5 years. And yeah, I just like building worlds with way too many details. But not as many as Scott's.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh,
Yeah, you do.
Maybe a little. Empowered Extras starts with more subclasses. So the first one is Mutant. And I really wanted to play the X-Men theme song, but I know I will get a strike for that. So I am not playing the X-Men theme song. And it's also not, I guess it could be someone like a Marvel Comics mutant, but Tundra Boy's iteration of a mutant is pretty close to a Simic hybrid from like Ravnica.
it feels very almost kind of like semi-MacGyverous because it's like you have a bio weapon, like your body's part of it. So it feels like there'd be a lot of cool things that you could do with that, at least like flavor wise for a player character.
Mm. And like calling it mutant and putting it in the empowered, I can't believe that this subclass is in the supplement. I like
Mm.
thinking of who empowered people are. I I understand that like the idea is you are like something happened to you to change you. But when you think of superheroes, like most people just think of mutants.
I kind of expected this one to have more stuff. Was it just me? This seemed like not as detailed as most of the others.
I think there's definitely a little bit of that. That I feel like maybe he thought of this one last, but that still seems like so not I guess not as a pun out of character, but like it seems like this is what you would think of first.
It could be though the way it's shaped in the fact that while mutant would probably be the first thing you think of, I'm not sure body morphing in that sense is everyone's first thought. You know,
Mm.
I think we kind of touched on it with some of the additional abilities that we showed when going through the astounding powers. So I feel like maybe when he was going through the astounding powers, it kind of clicked in his head to create the mutant, or kind of maybe he pulled a lot of these because as you go through even some of the others, some of these do feel like they could have been astounding powers slapped on to another power set.
Mm.
So I'm wondering if maybe they were a bunch that he felt maybe worked well together in its own subclass. And I
Yeah,
think this one has a few of those
Yeah.
abilities.
I
yeah,
think
I
you could
agree with that.
even
This is
yeah. No, you go ahead, Lacar.
it's kind of like a catch-all. Like there's a lot of different abilities that kind of fall in here. And I agree. It seemed like, oh, you know what? Let's just throw these into this one.
I feel like for Biosword, Bio Whip, and Bio Shield, he might have looked up like the Warforges, because a lot of some of the feats for the Warforge are like, oh, you change your body into a weapon, like a piece of your body. You get a prosthetic or something that swaps between prosthetic and like regular mode, like normal limb. So I'm wondering if like he just happened to run across, oh, these Warforged abilities, and was like, well, why don't I just make somebody's body do that? His three options are Bio Sword, Bio Whip, and Bio Shield. Um, I don't know if Grim is in the chat, but if this is one way you could get +2 AC from both a shield and your arm,
Hmm.
but you won't be able to hold anything.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know if you could hold the shield on that arm.
Well, I'm thinking the other one because one of your forearms grows into the shield, so the other one hold the shield in.
Yeah, it actually
Yeah,
says
but
that
you
the arm can't do anything else when it's one of those options.
Yep.
oh, transform limbs cannot be used to grasp anything. Wow.
I
Oh
also
So
well.
he.
you guys
Go
go.
ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say I don't think I think we've safely stopped the dream of Infinite Shield. um, even from a mutated stance.
So you think.
Mhm. Yeah,
True.
yeah, it's true. It's true. So bioweapon, the way that he has this function in that you get to you use your bonus action to transform one of your limbs. Grim specifically, he took a Blood of Sparta tiefling as like that's what he wanted his character to be. So his character's based on Dante and Virgil from Devil May Cry. And when the person who made the race came up with it, they were like, okay, when you devil trigger, when you transform, you get to choose one of these three transformations. And essentially, what it boils down to is there you are. He would have gotten to choose between his arm getting bigger and learning Lightning Lure, his arm getting bigger and learning Thorn Whip, or for he gets wings basically, and they increase one of his ability scores by 1 point. But because of the way I had to implement it on D&D Beyond, I made it work like this, where he can choose between the 3, because I had to make the 3 of them as feats anyway, so you could activate them. At least as far as the way it would work on D&D Beyond, that when he devil triggers, he clicks the feat and it changes his stats and it gives him the spell. So I like this because I like the way it's implemented here, where each bonus action, each time you transform, you can choose one of those to fit the situation. Because having only one of those choices for the whole game, I don't know if you're able to make that decision, like right when you make the character, like this is what I'm going to do the whole game.
Yeah, I kind of expected something more transformative in this. Like, maybe I'm biased because I love Mystique, but like when you think of mutants, you think of things that can like change their form in some way. And like, yeah, you can change an arm, but like, I don't know, it's just not as extensive options as I thought there'd be.
True. And the way that it is written, there's no limit on them. Like Grim is a Blood of Sparta tiefling. He has to take a nap if he's been transformed for a minute. This one, as long as you have a bonus action, you could just keep switching them.
It's interesting that you can constantly switch them so freely. I would imagine that becoming like a capstone ability. It's actually interesting she knows that. Like I would imagine that becoming like a very strong capstone ability at a later level for this, versus being like an upfront thing. But I think also to kind of supplement the fact that taking on these bioweapon forms restricts you from using any kind of weapon or armor, or a weapon or shield in that arm, it's to replace the fact that most people probably won't bring a weapon because they don't want to always drop their weapon in combat. I know some people will drop weapons in combat and forget, and for this player, okay, they always have their weapon with them, and it could be a cool little thing for them, you know, story-wise, when they get to the guards and like, where's your weapons? And it's like, oh, they're all here on me, you know, because they're going to turn their arm and bust down a door, you know. But like things of that nature is why I could imagine I can actually argue for them having it as an unlimited ability, because it's almost like their own cantrip is conjure weapon.
Yeah.
And I guess in some regards, the way that this functions also like keeps you in line with, what is it, Pact of the Blade, I think it is. They can always summon their weapon to their hand.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Can't they also make something else into their pact weapon if they need it?
yeah, I think so. I can't think of. We have a character in our campaign. I think it's part of his. It's a homebrew class that does the same thing. But as long as you have that one weapon that's yours, like it's the weapon you want to carry all the time, as long as it's on the same plane of existence as you, you can call it back to your hand. But
That won't help you guys.
I don't want to go in any portals.
I just witnessed a DM shutting down their player slowly, and it was glorious.
I love harassing Scott about this. He plays a character that's terrified of portals, and like half this campaign is going to be played in Portal.
You're gonna overcome some fears.
Yeah, we'll put it this way: there's a lot of opportunities for character growth.
Yeah.
I like that.
He needs it.
May you find a companion cube in your travels.
My own companion creature had to cast Call Emotions on me last session, so that I would even consider going in the portal.
Wait, isn't QQ technically like interdimensional?
Shh, we don't like to
Or an
think about
elemental
those
or
things
something?
here. No.
Okay. That's his animal companion for you guys. His animal companion is from a portal.
Yeah. You really can't escape, can you?
Nope. Ah. Your third level ability for Mutant is Chameleon, which I understand the first ability is that you can morph your body, but this is the Mystique ability. I don't know if I would have thought to combine those two into the same class. But at third level, if you touch a humanoid that's died, you can absorb a fragment of their identity. So you get their information and you can cast Disguise Self to look like them.
It's Rogue.
It's like Rogue
Or
and
Rogue.
Yes,
Mystique
it's
because you're
Rogue.
them, but also have their memories.
Yeah.
It's a scary ability, and I'm glad that it lends so much to out of combat play. Like taking out the guard, the guard captain, and then your mutant becoming the guard captain.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. This is an amazing roleplay ability.
The scariest part of this, though, is the way it's written. There's no limit on the amount of creatures whose memories you can steal. So, like, if
Could be
your
a story point.
BBEG was just, like, following you around, killing random people and taking their forms, oh!
Oh my god.
But if you think about it, I don't think there's ever been a limit to who Mystique can transform into.
True.
No.
So, keeping in line with that, yeah, why not? And what if it does create, some kind of paradox for your player? Player wants to work that into their character backstory. They've absorbed too many memories, and now
That's
their
what
own
I was
memories are
thinking.
Oh, that's
Oh, yeah.
sick!
Yeah, I'm seeing a character, a PC, slowly going mad with the accumulated weight of everyone else's memories.
Now you've got your own character with an identity crisis.
Or you start the campaign being that the empowered, like, they get their powers later in life. So maybe there was a big explosion, whatever, when they got their powers, like the Flash, and they accidentally. Well, you probably wouldn't be level. Maybe you're at level 3. You were an artificer, and one of your traps went wrong. So I don't know, and you switch classes, something like that. But if you start at level 3, boom, the explosion happens, and you accidentally absorb all the memories of the people that were in that room. Like, and your whole campaign is, do I have my own goals or do I have all these other people's goals that I should be trying to complete?
A character that has to roll like a d12 every time they wake up to figure out who they are that day.
Oh, that's amazing. That's pro roleplay stuff.
That's just fun.
Welcome to my game. Please create 12 character sheets. Thank you.
There's I can't think of what he's called. I think he's a fragment. It's a homebrew class where if you die, you roll a D100 and there's like a 10% chance on the D100, so you could just roll a D10 realistically. But anyway, when you die, there's a chance you swap places with a different version of yourself from somewhere else in the multiverse, and like that can change your entire character.
That's
Sounds
cool.
like fun. That sounds like maddening fun.
Grimble, what is that class? I know you sent it to me. I want to say it's a fragment, but I could be wrong. He also sent me he was like, hey, do you guys have a topic for Monday? Because you could do this. And it was something about mecha. And I was like, I'll put it on the list, man.
Gross.
Monstrous Imitation, the 7th level ability, is if you're grappling someone, you can use the action to basically steal their memories and their abilities and what have you. It's almost the same as Chameleon, except they just don't have to be dead. You just have to hold them, which is honestly even creepier. Like, someone's just like got you in a bear hug and then they turn into you and they like start whispering in your voice into your ear.
Yeah, absolutely horrifying.
Put it that way. That adds a varied level of madness to it that I did not paint in my head at first. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Thank you
I do what I
very
can.
much. But it is interesting that the further down mutant you go, you're becoming almost like I can't think of the main character's name from the prototype games, or like almost like Venom in a weird way, where now you're just getting to the point where you're just absorbing people's memories and grappling things. It's almost like you could flavor this as symbiote in some weird way.
Grimbo also said, "Hey, this sounds like a prototype." Yeah, it does. This one, I think, whenever I think of someone doing this, I just think of Dark Souls 1 and 2. There was a spell where you could turn into an inanimate object, and you could just chill there, and then like, baha! When people walk by, and you obliterate them. And this is all I can think of for you doing this. Like, you are the mimic. You are a humanoid mimic.
They held that in Elden Ring too.
Oh, The only weird thing
Never
is you can't
worry.
move. You just chill there.
Yeah, but like you never have to worry about. Imagine like a court intrigue kind of style campaign, and you never have to worry about infiltrating a group again.
That's true. That's very true.
Like, oh yeah, I'll just be that like side table.
We always had a love seat? Yeah, it's always been there. Meanwhile, Danny DeVito sewn into a suit, into a sofa.
Oh, you found it, Grimbo? What is it? Is it called a fragment? Oh, it's the race, not the. I thought it was a class too. Interesting. That might be one we go through at some point. But your capstone ability for mutant is dual bioweapons. Whenever you use your bonus action, you can do 2 bioweapons at once. I understand what they're saying here. Whenever you use a bonus action to manifest a bioweapon, you can choose 2 different properties to grant your unarmed strike instead of 1. I, I get that you would use 2 at like. This seems like it's made for both your arms, but they're saying just do it to 1 arm. Like now you have a shield whip or you have Ivy's sword for your other arm, except it doesn't detach. When I think it makes most sense if you're just doing it on both hands.
That's still a weak capstone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need flashy, we need fun, we need full mutation mode. I don't even know what that would manifest as. But
Maybe a hell. It could be fun, like a hell. I thought like maybe like a hell beast kind of thing, or like some kind of wild over mutation would be fun.
I was
Turn into a
like the over mutation idea. I was thinking this capstone has to be like, oh, you can you suddenly like sprout parts of creatures that you've absorbed the memories and the physical properties of. So now you have like more arms and you can do more things at once or something like that. That's what I thought the capstone ability was going to be.
It would be fun. Something like you can do something like grow extra arms or something, but at the end of it, you have to roll like it's wild magic to see if they go away or not.
Oh, that's cool. I'm thinking of like I know that it wouldn't necessarily work this way, but I'm thinking of like a Super Scroll type idea where like he's got the powers of all the Fantastic Four, but like the way that he manifests them is like 1 on each limb, that kind of thing. So like different parts of his body look like other creatures he's taken on.
Could be fun.
Very Simic hybrid type stuff. I think maybe he just read Ravnica stuff and was like, "Oh, that seems cool. I'm gonna adapt that."
Possible. But I definitely agree with Bacon that this is a underwhelming capstone ability, and I'd say even more underwhelming than the Super Soldier and Vigilantes from before, which I thought were pretty.
That's also a pretty good point.
it's
It
fun.
definitely doesn't stand up to like Unibeam or some of the other stuff that's been in here.
No,
Yeah.
no, 1,000,000% not.
Then again, I'm not deep in the X-Men or mutant lore, so I don't have much to draw on in contrast.
I would say this is like a beta power. There's alphas or mutants that have like non-combat abilities, and then betas. Sorry, no. Or I'm doing it backwards. Alphas are better than betas. I think it's betas that have non-combat abilities, then alpha level. But there's one below beta. I think it's gamma. And then omega is when you have no discernible upper limit. These are pretty weak mutants. Could be very creepy as a BB. Like, I feel like this particular character works better as an antagonist than your actual character.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, though, we have hybrids. I'm going to change the music, and I hope it doesn't blow out anybody's eardrums, because now that I know it's louder for some reason, I'm a little worried. Seems like it's fine. Hybrids are kind of like, while the mutants were, I was about to say wet and wild. No, let me not say that. While the mutants were more like simic hybrid type dudes, the actual hybrid class is like, I'm a beast man, but not a beast man, because that exists elsewhere.
Yeah.
It's almost as if someone got trapped in a fursuit and gained superpowers.
Yeah.
Not bad, and not a bad way either, but part of it felt kind of similar to some of the homebrews I've seen for people's like lichen classes, so like your various wear classes, where sometimes they'll flavor this for like the racial abilities and things of that nature. And that's kind of how it felt for me going through this one. But I am curious what other people thought, because it's a weird one.
The way that it's, I guess, flavor wise, but also the way that it functions, it's almost like a better shifter. Like, this is what a shifter should have been.
I don't know. I think the shifter had more useful things to it. I mean, the fingernails turning into claws. I mean, honestly, between the claws and the tail, it's like if you're playing a tabaxi, just don't do this. You get basically nothing.
Yeah.
That's true. I hadn't thought of it like that. If you're a tabaxi, yeah, you basically already have these powers.
Yeah, please apply elsewhere.
Pick a different race.
Also, I think, I don't know, I could be overly picky here, but like the tail not being able to wield a weapon or being used for the somatic component of spells, I'm like, why not?
The fact that it's prehensile and all that, like, I don't understand, because there are quadrupedal creatures in canon that cast spells with somatic components with their paws and stuff. So why not?
Yeah.
Why not his tail? I know these images are taken from other places and source. Can you go scroll up a little bit? Am I crazy, or do I see a mouth with teeth at the end of that tail? And I actually think that right there is way cooler than anything we're looking at right now.
It doesn't say this sure.
You grow an extra mouth with fangs on your tail. Go, do your thing.
Yeah.
That would be so much cooler.
Song Wukong with a snake tail, please. You're sold. I'm sold.
Yeah. Also, I'm just mad about the way that they stylized Sun Wukong here, but we don't need to get into that.
Fair. Understandable.
His journey to the west went a little south.
Yeah. Now apparently he's rabid and also a headhunter.
Yeah.
A lot,
but still sexy. Don't worry. Still sexy.
Okay.
I'm also a little mad at Pounce because, like, tons of creatures have the if I move 20 feet in a straight line, I do a thing. But this one doesn't deal damage. Everybody who has whatever Pounce or Hooves or Tackle is, I move 20 feet, I'm going to deal some kind of extra damage because I've moved 20 feet. This one's just, you can try to tackle them. What?
Yeah, and your claws are out. Like, you're gonna pounce claw first.
Yeah.
I didn't have so much of a problem with Pounce. Can we talk about Sabretooth?
It's not a tail. Nobody wants it. We
You
sure
grow
can.
razor sharp fangs. So growing sharp fangs when you have claws. So I guess we go back to pounce for a second. So here we are with these sharp fangs to pounce and grapple when again you've grown claws. Make unarmed strikes that deal piercing damage. Once per turn, when you hit a creature with an unarmed strike using your fangs, you can attempt to grapple the creature with your fangs.
Yeah, that's the part I had trouble with.
So you can get a really good bite once per turn.
Also, what the hell? Did your head just turn into like its own medium-sized creature? How are you grappling someone with your teeth?
The implication is that you can grapple someone with your hands, your mouth, and your tail all at once is so funny to me. Like, what are you holding on to that you could possibly like enact enough force from your head, like your ass and your hands all at the same time?
You know, you're one of those people who plays those kooky contraptions that they used to use in like the circus with all the different noises. That sounds like an organ. That's the only thing you play. That's the only reason you need a prehensile tail and the ability
You
to
are the
grapple.
one-man band.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
no, my tiny pencil broke.
Yeah, it's like you're
You had a
either only
prehensile tail.
fighting you're only fighting pixies, or you already have to be a gigantic race for this to make any sense.
I would love a halfling to roll this class. I would love a gnome, a 3-foot gnome, to latch on to an orc with its prehensile tail and really do damage with its bite. Like that, I'd pay to watch that, personally.
You'd have to flavor that as like one of those goofy anime things where like that body part just becomes like huge for 2 seconds.
Yeah. Which could be fun.
You could flavor this as not necessarily a stand, but like you have the prehensile tail, but like it's not physically attached to you, like it's an astral tail, and that way it can get bigger and smaller, that kind of thing.
I think it's Vixen and DC who has that.
Yeah. Yep. She can take on the traits of an animal, but it basically just looks like that astral animal is around her.
It's like someone sat up too late one night playing Skullgirls and then woke up in the morning and wrote this.
Can confirm with someone who's played Skullgirls too late that this is something you will cook up.
It's cool. It just feels different than the other ones.
Yeah.
But I like it. And Venom's actually useful. Like, some of these are actually, like, playable.
I feel like the picture they use with the tail with the mouth on it is just for Venom. Because you got someone in your mouth, and then you're holding someone, and then your tail's on them. You're like, how do I give them Venom? Oh, it must be teeth on my tail.
I think nobody that ever reads this will ever be able to come up with a character where you're not like, yeah, but the tail doesn't have teeth, though. Remember that?
the when you inject them with the Venom, at first I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. But like upon first reading, I was like, oh, it's just 1d12 poison. But it's actually that every time you hit them after that for a minute. So if you have extra attack, which this class definitely does, and you have other ways to punch people or hit them, like you can deal a lot of D12s and poison damage. It's definitely not going to be the killer blow that the speedster with the push has, but you can actually deal some damage to people for a minute.
Yeah, it gets useful. It seems like it can get pretty cool for a player as well.
I,
I
I,
just don't know that it's a capstone ability.
if you could use it more than once, I would say maybe. Because
Yeah.
this is basically just like, I'm going to single target this guy and hope that they roll a 1 at some point so that they become paralyzed. I like the idea of the paralysis on a 1, but the chances of it happening are going to be pretty slim.
Yeah, I feel like it should be a little higher.
Oh, yeah.
And now we're going to move on. Wow, we did, what was that? We did 2 whole subclasses in only like 30 minutes. We're moving fast.
Yeah.
I think we're
Is
also feeling spicy tonight, and
it...
these just aren't as impressive as the others, or at least the beginning. It started really strong. I really liked the couple beginning classes. I would pick and pull for campaigns. The latter, the back 9. I don't know.
fair. Is this Triss?
That is Triss Marigold.
Okay. I was like, I feel like this is Triss. So here's your Esper. Somebody had to have some kind of psionics in all of Empowered. You need
Oh, yeah.
somebody with a big head.
The psionic class.
Again, this is one of those ones where I feel like it should be Khan. Just, it's Khan.
It could have been anything. It could have been anything. The fact that it's nothing is what makes me angry.
Is the one you had the particularly spicy notes on?
Yes.
Hit us with them.
So for starters, no, and this is kind of skipping through, but there's no mention of psychic damage. If everything you do is in the mind, give some psychic damage.
There
And
is
I
in
don't
force
know.
field,
Oh, it's true. The force field.
but it's the only one. You're right. It's seriously underpowered.
Yeah.
Okay, so I take it back. There's one inkling of psychic damage. But again, as a psionic, I would even give the ability to let their mage hand become a cantrip that does damage.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
You could play this up and spice this up so many ways. And I feel like they missed every opportunity.
Vectors.
And it makes me kind of...
Oh my god, that would be amazing. Like, just getting slapped upside the head by an invisible mage hand and you take damage from it.
It's funny. A mental flick of the brain.
You could have given them Mind Sliver as an additional cantrip, things of that nature. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Again, having Mage Hand and Message, forgotten cantrip, but a fun one. But just the idea of psychokinesis and force fields, kinetic grips, and things of that nature, not giving any psychic damage as a whole. To call this thing to start off with the mind is a dangerous thing and do 0 psychic damage and do 1 instance of psychic damage.
Yeah.
It seems like there was no. It seems like you just missed a very obvious goalpost. And again,
Yeah.
this is an impressive thing to put together your entire whole subclass, but this was just a heavily missed opportunity and a letdown for no psychic damage.
Yeah, this seems to be very, very, like, support role. Like, there's no way that you can do this really as an offensive character. This is like 100% defense.
Like this is going to
Oh
be
yeah.
eventually the ultimate version would be like a Charles Xavier or
Mhm.
a Jean Grey type character like that. That just you expect so much more usefulness mechanically than just I don't know, playing around with cognitive abilities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. I didn't even think of that. You can push people with your mind, but it still does bludgeoning damage.
Yeah, there's no saying the future, there's no manipulating people's emotions, there's no like all the things you expect from somebody with mental powers.
And you have like a very weird, like your kinetic range. Like you could have just left the normal spells up. If anything, you should have better range than the spells listing because your mind is more developed.
Yeah.
Just not a
Like,
fan
it's
of
nice that
kinetic
they give
range.
you the it's nice they give you the intelligence versus strength for attack and damage rolls on unarmed strikes. Like, I'm glad that they allow that for you as a Esper, but why not also then change your strikes to psychic damage?
Mhm.
And now you
You're
need
making Scion plays.
like you need 3 ability scores to be good to make this class good.
Yeah. You fall back into that issue that we've had with some of the other classes where there should be a primary rec switch for each subclass kind of thing.
I do like the idea of force field is cool.
Mhm.
There's not enough auras that I mean there's some characters have like an icy aura that slows you down. That's unusual. It's cool that that one was reflavored.
I just then you get stuff like kinetic grip. It's cool you can now use telekinesis. But again, I feel like if you're at the 14th level and the best thing you can do is cast telekinesis, as an Esper, someone who's supposed to be able to be a Jean Grey or Professor Xavier style character almost, you're under you're restricting them purely to support and saying that oh they can't fight if there's a fight going on.
Mhm.
I don't think it's fair to cripple, and especially in the 5e system, in 5e where the system is meant to allow a player to engage in combat despite their class. This feels very underwhelming for that player. Especially in a superhero, especially when you're dealing with superheroes and people who are flying around shooting 100-foot chaos beams and even prehensile tails.
With teeth.
Yeah,
with teeth.
I
That can't hold a dagger.
I cannot believe that this class doesn't have a function that mimics catapult. Like what? I get you telekinesis. You could technically throw things, but I definitely feel like this is one of those things where you need something to just be like, I pick something up with my mind. People don't know that that's what I'm gonna grab. They can't see me do it. You put your 2 fingers on your head like you're Charles Xavier, and then something in the room just shoom, launches at them. Like you need that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if this one was kind of like hobbled because so few things are resistant to psychic damage, because so few things in 5e do it, that they like the author felt like if I give it too much psychic stuff, like they'll just be able to tear through everything basically.
It's possible, but I also feel like that's kind of the cool thing you get to do where if you are as a DM playing this, maybe you give that person an enemy that is also psionic with that
Yeah.
same. So now it's a battle of minds, and that could be a lot of fun to deal with. You know, I think the balance comes with kind of how you set it up and set up the challenges for your players in that situation.
I also feel like that kind of battle specifically, because everything is so focused on in 5e as generally being like, I'm gonna run up and I'm gonna smack that thing. I'm gonna smack it so hard. And then if you have 2 people who are psychics and they're standing on the battlefield, they're both sweating, they're both holding their heads, but it doesn't look like they're doing anything, but they're fighting their damnedest. Could be so funny roleplay wise.
That is
And
true.
then
You could have some fun with it that way.
they've been like that for like 2 hours. Finally, the hitting people, like the strength-based characters, finish it off. One of them just walks up behind him and hits him with a wrench.
My kind of humor. Uh, I will say, like you had said, I don't think this one's as well thought out. I have in my notes, like I wouldn't recommend someone be the hybrid or the mutant because they could definitely do better. But my notes are like I wouldn't let people be this class. The Esper it's not for me. I wouldn't let someone be this class. It's just underwhelming. It has some cool ideas, but it's just underwhelming.
Yeah, it's sad that it's underwhelming like this too.
And the capstone ability, where like you can stop one person from moving because it's based on your reaction. Like, and if you're at level 18, people are probably already flying around. If you had to wait till level 18 to fly, mm, mm,
Yeah. Yeah, I think those abilities could be broken up and come earlier. And then it would be a relatively simple thing to retool a couple of spells, even like Magic Missile. Like if you made Magic Missile do psychic damage,
mm.
That'd be good.
and that's just something that you can do, X number of times, like psionic points or something. Like, you expend a few like key points to do it. Like there's a few things you could do to make it a lot beefier and more offensive without totally wrecking it.
Mm.
I would. Hmm. Well, I wouldn't let anyone in one of the campaigns I was running be this class. I might make force field into a feat of some kind.
Mhm.
Like you're
I can
stuck
see
in
that.
my mire, the mire of my mind. That's kind of cool.
Mind goo.
Feet.
I think I think I'm kind of upset, and going back to something that we mentioned at the beginning. This feels like it was a lot of additional feats that he just slapped in something.
Mm.
And like while the hybrid and the mutant look like they have a lot of missed potential, I think the real pain point is the Esper still for me. I have I have so much hurt from reading the Esper after going through this document and being like, oh man, the Esper is going to be the savior of this for me, and then having it just kind of let me down. um, not it's not bad, but I think a lot of these abilities would do better attached to other classes.
Mm.
Yeah.
I have
I
to.
think some of these could have been used to attach to other classes.
There is. I think it was when they came out with the Ravnica stuff. There is a psionic class that the range of stuff that they can do is ridiculous. Like they have healing and they have offensive spells and they can do like greater restoration. They can do their range is absurd. And I can't remember what it's called right now. I'm listening to a podcast that uses it. Let's see if I can find it.
I know way back one of the older systems, the Dark Sun system. I think it was second edition. Bacon. I don't know if you're familiar with Dark Sun. I wish VF was here because I know he knows it pretty well. But a lot of the stuff was littered with psionics, and it was kind of like every class had psionic powers. If you were from this area, it was just
Mm.
like the content matter was a little rough for Dark Sun. But you just dealt with so much psionic, and they did the same thing. There was healing, offensive, defensive, almost kind of like its own entire own classification of magic. It was really cool.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Bring back psionics.
I think it might be Mystic.
Oh,
I
know.
I actually have, well, this is for later at some point. But actually my players have met, I forgot what it was, a mesmer, which is kind of like the I play tricks on you with my mind type
Mm.
person. Kibbles has made a Scion. I have tons of, yeah. I see Grimbo in the chat being like, yes. Kibbles has remade a Scion for 5e. Eventually, I'll figure out how that works and what have you. But there's also the like, whereas the mesmer messes with your mind in like a magic way, like they're casting illusions and what have you. There's another class called the savant where they do the same thing, but they're basically whooping on you with math. They're just like, this is the math of this spell, and your brain's like, what?
They remade the math magic from Final Fantasy Tactics?
I think so, kind of like that, yeah.
I'm kind of intrigued. I may have to steal this from you at some point. I'm curious.
I will for sure share. For those of you who would like access to my D&D homebrew repository, so it's all the stuff that I would use. Again, some of it definitely needs tweaks. And if you're running your own campaign, like if you're playing in someone else's campaign, definitely ask them before you do it. I tell my players to do the same thing. Like whenever you're going to use something, let me know. I will work with you to make sure that it's balanced, that kind of thing. But like these are all the things that I've come across that I would let a player use in a campaign that I'm running. Even though some of them definitely need to be tweaked.
Incomprehensible influx. That just sounds like somebody covering for the fact that they're still traumatized about how much math they had to take in school.
So me?
No.
I am.
I am opening. I'm going to open my music. Okay. That's just so I can change the music because we're done with all of the extra power manifestations. And now we get to move on to character options. Yay!
This is okay. This is the part where I'm bitter.
Do tell.
Oh wait. No, sorry. Once they get to the astounding artifacts, that's where I get bitter. We still have a page to go. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say I usually skip this even in normal play. This I would let the reader kind of go over line by line. I don't know if we need to.
These are basically, if you're having trouble making your character, you can roll on these tables, or you can just choose a thing that's here. But if you're, I think part of
If you
what
already have a twisted imagination.
yeah, I think part of the
Yeah, that's a
issue
good way to put it.
is they kind of push these tables on people who are new to the game. So like you roll and then you get that result because you're not sure what you're going to do. And then when you get that result, if you're new to the game, like you have to figure out how to make that work. And I feel like that's off-putting to a lot of new players. Like, oh, I'm not prepared for what I rolled. So now I'm like worried about playing my character, and you don't want to play the game like that.
This is very new, or maybe like you're having trouble with one specific aspect, and you're like roll on a table, and you're like, okay, how can I put this in there? But I'd never used one of these tables as a player, as a DM. I wouldn't worry too much about it. It's great content. I respect the authors putting this together, but I don't know if
Yeah.
I'm not gonna have much to say about it.
I mean, in my campaign, about half of our players are complete newbies, and we used it not to roll on, but just to go over it to kind of get them brainstorming about like what kinds of things they wanted for each of those, and some of them actually took options from the table, like just as like a quick start thing, so that they got more of a feel for their character quicker.
Especially if you're lacking depth or backstory, and you just need something to spin off a riff from.
Yep.
This can be useful.
Yeah.
Yeah, often
I
the
have
biggest
seen
sticking
this.
point is like, yeah, but what made you start adventuring? And people are like,
We
I
keep
feel like that's a
having
great question.
yeah, we keep having arguments about that kind of thing where like a lot of people just assume, oh, in this world everyone's adventuring. No, like most people don't want to adventure. You're probably gonna die.
Well, and I think that if you set up the players in your world as adventurers trying to become heroes, you give the person kind of like a very grounding feeling of like, okay, any person could pick up a weapon and become an adventurer, but only storied adventurers are heroes and the people really remember. So even in a world where there's adventurers everywhere, you're just the adventurer still. Level 1, walking out of the tavern, just got that 50 gold quest to go kill a bunch of wolves in the forest. No one's singing their praises at the tavern. We're not singing your song. But the level 13 party that just cleared the Underdark and is coming up through the Yawning Portal, yeah, we're going to remember them. You know what I mean? We're going to remember the people who went to Underkeep, or the people who came back from Barovia and dealt with a certain, as DM Bacon and I know, a certain vampire that we humiliated on the field of battle. We
Humiliated.
may or may not have had choice. Yeah, we may have had choice words for a certain vampire lord. But, you have to go through those things to become heroes. And I think that telling your players you're an adventurer reminds them that, yeah, death happens. And it's okay to die sometimes. Sometimes you learn a little bit the hard way.
Often people like need to get there. Like you gotta kill them every now and then. I the only parts of this table that I think are super useful are if you're new and you can't find that reason to adventure. Like
mhm.
if you and your DM pick one of the arch rivals and a mentor, that could be super helpful.
Yeah.
The rest of it, not so. It's just who I am as a player and a DM. Like I don't really use those tables. I'll just play my character.
I did think the idea of empowered hunters hunting down the empowered is so cool. Because, like, I don't know, I don't usually think of that kind of dynamic with superheroes, but
Mm.
that is awesome. Especially if the hunters have no abilities.
So just like really strong humans, or like really strong base classes chasing after these. That could be interesting.
It's like Friends of
That creates an
Humanity.
interesting dynamic. That creates a
Yeah, just
very
like
interesting dynamic.
yeah, just like a group that's like, we just strongly believe that these, things have too much power and will create an imbalance, and they like use their brains. Like most of the empowered are like really brawny, and they're like, nope, we're just gonna have to outthink them. That could be fun.
That could be fun. I could see that being a lot of fun. An anti-empowered organization that
Yeah,
kind of just
Artificers of
exists.
Sendotech, the Friends of Humanity. Like I was gonna say X-Men '97, but I mean Marvel Comics in general. The people who are scared of mutants. Or Cape Killers. I mean, some of the Cape Killers also have superpowers, but not all of them.
Yeah.
Oh, you give them a cool name like that too. Oh, that's cool.
They could be pretty heavy users of magic items, which are all considered wondrous anyway, to give themselves a supernatural advantage. Oh, there's a
Yeah.
lot of that could be a whole episode of us brainstorming how we throw together horrible parts of the same campaign.
Oh, the Grimble, what are they? The Reavers? Is it I think it's the
Oh, that
Reavers.
just that just makes me think Firefly.
No, it's Firefly, but the Reavers in Marvel Comics, they capture people with superpowers and they like rip out parts of their body and install them in themselves to get superpowers. Like that's their whole shtick.
Oh, it's the oh, I need to remember it. Sanderson also has something like that on one of his worlds.
Oh,
I'm gonna kick myself if I can't remember it. The blood magic.
Oh.
They have to make these spikes out of a specific kind of metal, and if you bury it in a specific part of their body, it will suck out part of their soul and their ability, and then you can infuse it into yourself.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
Our
more nuanced than that, but
oh, that's our
hemalurgy. The hemalurgic spikes from Skadrill. Yeah.
Interesting. I may have to adopt those as well. And in my campaign, we have blood hunters that don't function like Critical Role's blood hunters, but they also go and like rip apart creatures and
Well,
implant them into themselves, like implant parts and stuff to gain powers. Well,
well,
they did.
he's already paying a TTRPG company to make a Mistborn TTRPG, so you may just want to wait until they come out with that and then borrow the rules.
I saw the minis for they were so expensive though. I was looking
Oh,
at
I'm
it
sure.
when he did the thing, but they're like each mini there's 8 minis and each of them was like $25 a pop, and I was like, but it's medium sized. Like maybe if it was big, but medium sized, $25 a pop. Ugh, I
He
can't do
just did
that.
a Kickstarter. He just did not a Kickstarter. He used one of the other things, Backer Kit. And they did plushies of like one of his most well-known like types of
Oh,
magic people. And I was so excited. And they were $40 a pop.
uh,
I was like, forget that. I'll wait until they come out on eBay in like a year.
yeah, I feel bad like not supporting people that I want to support, but like I'm
He's
cheap.
got more money than God. It's fine.
That's true. He definitely does at this point. We're moving on to your section, the astounding artifacts. Sometimes you get powers. I will say that a lot of these, like, before you guys get into it, like a lot of them seem like they're supposed to be super amazing, but like they're not, comparatively speaking.
Yeah. These are also like the most directly, obviously tied to specific items and
yeah.
superheroes.
Like this is the comic book geek gap kind of thing. I will say it's like, hey, if we weren't obvious enough that we want you to think of comic books when we do this, here you go. Like
Mm.
here's the Hall of Wonders.
Yeah.
Starting with the anti-veiled particle suit, aka PIM particles. It's a
I don't know
suit that
what
pretty
you're
much
talking
gives
about.
you the suit allows you to expend a charge and cast enlarge and reduce on yourself. Alternatively, you can expend 2 of these charges to cause the spell to alter your size by 2 categories of 1, from medium to huge, medium to tiny, for example, and it regains charges at dawn. And apparently, it takes 24 hours to attune to this. That part I don't understand. You have to train with it. I mean, it's cool that he added that flavor, but
Yeah, like
wouldn't you?
are you coming are you how do I explain this? Are, can you like hit the button for the wrong amount of time and come out like in between medium and large?
Yeah. Is there a wumbo, basically, installed in this? But also, 24 hours to train. Is that to say that if your players find this suit on a villain, if he turns it, like, do I get to have fun and say roll a d4 to see which way you go?
Ooh.
Again,
Whoa.
assuming they're medium size.
Like,
So,
how do you mess this up? Is like, why do you need 24 hours to mess? Because I'm pretty sure if you pop the charge wrong, like if you try to get too big and you get stuck in a room, you know not to do that again.
You hope. You do hope.
I would allow this in a campaign I was running. I think it has some comedy benefits, but other than that, I don't know too many people that would actually be using this.
It would be a cool item, but again, maybe like maybe this is meant to be combined with things like if I slap this on a Titan who's already gone Titan size and then he enlarges himself again by 2 sizes, does he get to grapple bigger things? Like, I don't
I
like how
definitely
much.
feel like that's part of it
Like,
because you
usually
have to be
magic
an
items are
empowered.
yeah. Usually magic items are around the idea of enhancing already pretty basic or, fairly normal activities, or give you some kind of extraordinary power, like I said. And this doesn't seem to really give you anything that a class hasn't already given somebody else.
I,
Again, I go to the Titan who can grow.
you could put. It would make your hybrid make more sense when he has 3 people grappled if he's bigger.
Touche.
Yeah.
But like again for the hybrid, like if you grab 3 people and they all ran in different directions, what if they're stronger than you?
You got a prehensile tail.
Item.
My tail teeth.
Doesn't matter. You spent all that genetic mutation on that tail.
Worth it.
Tail,
I
use that
would
dagger and stab this guy. I can't. I got 2.
for this one, like even though all of these are attunement by an empowered, you could probably change most of them to like attunement by an artificer or attunement for paladins and clerics and what have you.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to necessarily leave them as attunement by an empowered.
I feel like the belt of utility is like a worse bag of holding.
Yeah.
Like you could just buy this stuff and put it in a bag of holding.
So this is supposed to be Batman's utility belt? Is that...
Yep.
That's what I was thinking, yeah. And also you don't know what you're gonna pull out.
Yeah, that's the worst part. I only get one special thing a day.
Yeah, so you have literally, like it's even worse than having it infinitely, because you literally could buy this once per day, keep it in a utility belt, and not know the random factor.
Yeah.
Why do I want 25 feet of silk rope?
Also, why silk
I-
rope specifically?
Oh, it's stronger.
Oh, okay. That at least makes some sense.
Vial of basic poison, 5 darts, and a dagger that can't be held by my.
I would be so mad if I pulled the dagger out. Are you kidding me?
It increases your carrying capacity by 20 pounds. These things do not add up to 20 pounds.
No, they do not.
The
does that mean
heaviest
that you
thing on
have,
there
like-
might be the rope.
Like, does this mean that, like, you can use the other pockets for other things that you do know you can pull out?
I feel like you should just in my campaign, one of our I found I was trying to find bandoliers and stuff to see if they had them in previous editions as like equipment that you could carry. And instead I found this guy who was like, "Oh, you can just add leather straps." So that's what we did. And we made like a limit on how many leather straps you could carry. But our rogue literally has leather straps all over her arms and legs and waist and chest. And like we said, you can only carry a certain amount of things in them. So she's covered in daggers. There she is!
That's awesome.
I feel like you should just go. You don't need a magic item for this. You could just add some leather straps to your character.
Yeah. I mean, I did something kind of similar to this in my campaign. We've got a monk who one of their main weapons is water whip, but obviously they need water to use it. So I called it the water skin of mystery, and they have to roll a d8 at dawn to find out what it's full of, and it covers everything from water, milk, coffee, moonshine. I mean, there's like a whole range of things. Like, just because I think it's funny to be casting water whip and it's milk. But
I can
like,
appreciate that kind of fun, like toying with things. Like that's a very fun way to do it.
yeah, but like it still works no matter what. But like here, if you need a dagger, you don't want a smoke grenade. Like,
Yeah,
or what if you're trying, like role play wise, you're trying to get this town to believe in you, to think that you're a nice person, and you're like,
yeah.
look what I can do, and you pull out poison, and you're like, oh no!
nothing says you're trying to really scale up a wall and you just happen to pull out that oh so handy dagger. Just
I was
Bell
thinking
trips.
like I would rather have the 5 darts because I have 5 of them, but you can't stab. You're not supposed to stab someone with a dart. So actually, the dagger's probably a better option than the 5 darts.
sad that we've negotiated down to the dagger potentially being the most useful item out of this belt. I think it's safe to say this is not as uncommon as it is. I would not call this a wondrous item. I would not feel wonderful getting this, and I don't
This is
and
literally
I
like,
don't know what I'm attuning to.
yeah, you could literally just buy a belt and put these things in it and not
Yeah.
worry.
And
It
especially
is
because you're an empowered, you're strong. Like you're
so
stronger than
allegedly.
normal, so you can carry like 8 times as much as what's on here. Why do you need a belt that might give it to you? Yes, it needs attunement.
Because you really, truly did not know what to do with all that gold you had. And just said, screw it. Give me everything.
Hmm.
Uh, what do we have after that?
The Black
Oh,
Mask.
okay. Cool idea. Giving you kind of like awesome vision, but that's it.
Well, it also gives you your typical. I saw this as more of a flavor thing.
Yeah, this
Like,
is like you have a
oh, this
domino
gives you the
mask.
superhero look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd give this to every vigilante.
Yeah. I feel like this is what the oh no, what is the item called? Uh it's in the starter kit. Um it's a helm, and the only effect it has is that your eyes glow red when you wear it. We we
The
we
Goblin
we,
Slayer
we
helm.
yeah, we call it the Goblin Slayer helm, but it's an actual magic item. Dread helm. That's what it's called. If the
Yeah,
Dread
yeah.
helm gave you the eyes, that would be so much cooler than just having red eyes.
I mean, at the very least, it should give you advantage on intimidation checks.
Yes.
I could see
Absolutely.
though if like, I'm not saying you have to do it this way, but if you gave someone a black mask and it gave them the night vision and keen vision powers, which is like you have night vision and you can, I think you have X-ray vision is one of them, or maybe it's telescopic vision, whatever. You could make this like a cursed item, and like it messes with your eyes in normal situations.
Oh. Or you can't take it off.
The mask.
I could work with that. I feel like. I feel like that would be a lot of fun to play around with too. Let your player change their voice up. Get their Kevin Conroy on.
Oh,
Dark
Kevin
and
Conroy, R.I.P.
What the hell was that sigh?
R.I.P. Batman. The real Batman. No offense to all the other Batman. No, very much offense. The real Batman.
Will the real Batman please stand up?
Here you go, Grimbo. This one is just for you. Darian's armor.
It's the suit of a terrible character. No, it's like...
Shots fired.
No.
This is supposed to be Iron Man's armor, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Except all that it has is gives you a +2 to your AC.
I
And
know,
if
it's
you're within
bonkers.
30 feet, you can summon it to yourself. They're already punching me in the face.
Yeah, but now you can summon this to yourself in the middle of getting socked in the face.
I just feel like if you bought a DVD of How to Train Your Dragon when it first came out, it came with a bonus DVD. And the bonus DVD's story is how the mentor character lost his arm and his leg. And basically there was this dragon that no matter where he was in the world, this other frozen Viking just happened to be there too. Like this dragon was carrying around another Viking in an ice block, and the Viking, for some reason, one of his hands is free, so wherever the mentor character goes in the world, he sees this ice block out of nowhere, and then all of a sudden, the ice block appears, and he's like, and there was the frozen Viking punching me in the face! And that's what I feel like happens when you have this. Like, you want to get socked!
Yeah. Yeah, this is not fun.
This one, though, I guess sort of makes sense with the, in order to attune to the suit, you have to train with it for 12, 24 hours. Because you're probably, I would make a player have to dex save all of the individual pieces for funsies. Like when they try to don it instantly, they have to actually get it on their body while it belts them.
Having a blast with it.
Do you want it, Grimbo?
Good luck making all those saves.
Yeah,
I mean, all right.
you suck at saves.
Say you're tied up. Say it's that scene in Iron Man 3. You're tied up to a bed frame. You got nothing going for yourself. You summon this. That's your big cool move. You just get +2 to your AC, so they just have to hit you harder while you're still tied up. Like it doesn't do anything for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, +2 to an immobile target. I feel like
it doesn't.
we're just gonna. Oh, we're not gonna hit you with the stick. We're gonna get the sledgehammer now. Bang. We needed a reason to upgrade it.
They
Yeah,
gotta pry
you
open
can't
Iron
fly.
Gateway. Yep.
You can't fly. You can't blast. This is. I mean,
And
it's remediable, but
and it's very rare. That's the craziest part.
Can't imagine a lot of people wanting this.
yeah.
I mean, just
Like
to
this wouldn't be
me-
something that someone would order in the world, would they?
give you a new cantrip that shoots from like the little gem inside the middle. I don't care if it's a firebolt, if it's a frostbolt, a lightning, something just comes from the suit.
Yeah, at least give it a cantrip. And if
Yes,
all
it
the
would be
pieces
fun.
can individually fly, why can't you fly?
You didn't learn. Take another 24 hours.
All right, we dumped on this one.
We just pooped on that one. It,
Good
it
check out.
it wasn't hurtful, okay? The disrespect was meaningful.
Yeah,
Constructive
they
criticism?
they undersold this item for themselves.
It's true.
I just picture this great scene, like you go into a town and they tell you like, oh, you must, slay this monster that it keeps this suit of armor, but a hero can take it, and they're like, oh, tell us about the suit of armor, and they tell you this, and you're like, yeah, no, we're going to the next town.
Like, you guys don't need saving. You guys are good.
It's fine. They can keep the armor.
Don't you want to be heroes? Not that badly. But thanks. Really appreciate it.
Oh, hey, the Kofi bot just turned on. That one I've never tested before. Cool. I didn't know he was there. I forgot to make the real chat bot tell people that they can follow along. But apparently the Kofi bot I only had to I clicked on one time and hey, hello. Thanks, robots. My next note is for Scarlet. Oh, it's on the next page, that's why. This one just makes me angry because I get that it's the helm of Faramir, like, ahaha, I'm Magneto. And you can learn telekinesis when you wear the hat, but you can only move objects made of metal. That's a shittier version of telekinesis.
Like, it's impressive to make a spell meant for tricks and cool flinging more useless.
Yeah. I also don't appreciate the shade at Magneto, but that's
I
Yeah,
think Magneto's cool as hell. But
Magneto is the coolest one in all of X-Men and totally logical, and they okay. I need to not go on that rant.
I'm gonna go on this rant. So in the comics, sorry, spoilers for people who read the comics, I guess. But Magneto died during the Krakoan Age, and they just brought him back because they need him. And when he came back, he's wearing his white Krakoan Age suit, but he's got his 3 previous helmets floating around him. And when he comes back, he's like, I don't know which man I should be right now because I've been all of these people. What am I going to be now? And all these like soldiers are coming at him. They start shooting their guns and what have you. And he's like, what? Do you know my powers? Like, I don't care about your stupid guns. And then some other guys come out and they're like, if you use your powers around us, if you use your power on our bodies, we have like dead switches in the suits that will kill a whole bunch of mutants. And Magneto's like, okay. And he just starts whipping his helmets around and beating the shit out of all these soldiers with his helmets because he's not using his
That's
powers
awesome.
on their bodies. And then he goes, oh, you have a dead man switch? I've been nice up until now, but sometimes it calls for actual violence. And he's like, my brain sends signals faster than your suits can send a signal. So he's like, I can feel all the circuitry in your suits, and he crushes these 6 soldiers into little balls of like
Yeah.
meat paste, and then he throws them away. I was just like, oh, he's back!
That is
Yeah.
mag freaking neato. All right, that man survived everything.
Yeah. That made me really, really mad in the movies where they were like, oh, here's this kid that survived the Holocaust, and then when people are coming for his kind again, and he tries to stop it, we're gonna make him the bad guy. I was like, are you kidding me? There's so much wrong with this.
People suck.
Yeah. So yeah, the helm and then Wonder Woman's whip are the reason why I'm so bitter about this page.
So, I mini player rant. One of the things that I've always wanted to ever play successfully was with a whip in a D&D campaign. I think that the idea of whips is cool, but they're the most underutilizable thing outside of you kind of like home brewing up one. There's no real additions, there's no real legendary whips. So I was excited, even though I knew this was going to be the lasso of truth.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I never got excited for this because Lucius Thorn is just why.
And it's one of only 2 things in the whole list that's only uncommon.
I,
And it's the only one from a female superhero.
ooh, that's a good point. I think it's cool that the idea is that you can use your powers through the whip, but no, just make the whip cool. Like,
That would be nice.
and the chance of you scoring a critical hit so that you have a chance to grapple someone to use Zone of Truth? No, just let me use Zone of Truth.
Yeah. Zone of Truth isn't that good a spell anyway. It doesn't kill anyone to be able to use it at will.
Yeah, it doesn't even force them to talk. They can just not say anything.
I know.
Yeah. Like, you're going to tell me the truth if I speak.
And that's if they don't just beat the saving throw, which you don't even know if they did.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, it's not an instant successful zone of truth. They can still have a chance to lie to. I didn't even think about that. Now it makes
Yeah.
me sadder about this item.
Well, I wonder if a lot of these are nerfed just because how awesome we know the actual items to be, and if you use that on the BBEG, then all of a sudden he's spilling every secret, or you just completely incapacitate him. But like I feel like it's too guarded. I feel these were supposed to be the astounding artifacts. They're not the less than useful artifacts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think the idea is also like when you're either reading or writing a big list of these things, you feel like, man, this is a lot. But the idea is that you'd only have 1 or 2 of these in a campaign.
Oh yeah.
Like, so it
Mm.
should be beefier,
Yeah, this is like you get told of this legendary artifact that might help you in the end game, and you're like, okay, well, let's go on a quest to do that. That sounds like fun, and it's got to be worth it. These are not worth it.
I can't imagine handing someone the helm of Lesser Magneto.
Helm of Paramagneto. Yeah.
The helm of, I think this might be related to Polaris.
Speaking of even further useless items,
Oh, God.
Aquaman's obvious trident.
Oh.
So you gain the aquatic nature astounding power. And if you have aquatic nature, you can exchange it for a new one while attuned to this item.
I mean, who would go for this if they weren't already Aquaman?
Yeah.
And
And
the stipulation that both this and the whip have, that the previous wielder has to deem you worthy. Like, yeah, they're probably dead if you have them now.
yeah. I don't see this being
That's the only
an
power
astounding.
you get. I just realized when you're holding the trident, now you can breathe underwater. You went on an epic
That's it.
quest to breathe underwater, and you probably already can.
You literally grabbed a stick to breathe.
I'll give you a swim speed too, but you're probably already an aquatic creature.
Speak to fish.
It does. Oh, that's true. Yeah. I think aquatic nature does give you speak to fish. Still, wiggity whack. The next one
Doesn't get better.
Dr.
My
Octopus's
personal-
arms. You have more arms.
Which I mean,
Okay.
that's cool.
Except they
You
can't
can-
wield weapons or shields or do anything that requires manual precision.
Oh,
So it's 8 prehensile tails.
there's the
8 prehensile tails that can grapple and shove. The strike is cool, I guess. You gain a climbing speed equal to your walking speed. But the arms have 10 hit points and 17 AC.
And it takes a whole day for them to come back. A whole day.
So
Yeah.
you mean so if your arms they don't have saving throws, do they? So technically if you get hit by a fireball, your arms are just done.
That's true. Agreed. Just be a Triton if you're gonna go for this stupid Trident. Then you could start with a Trident or a Bident.
Hell,
Just
I'll
paint
give
it
you a
gold.
Trident.
Paint it gold. Done.
I'll give you a Trident. If you want to be Aquaman in the campaign, take a Trident for free.
Oh my god.
This is ugh. Just ugh.
Alright, what we got next?
The Ring of Creation. You can
Green
Green
Lantern?
Yep, you can become
Okay.
hard light constructs. You can only make 5 things. I don't know how. I'm gonna look up how. I don't know how creation works as a spell.
I feel like this is like a crummier version of the Song of Creation bards.
Oh my god. Depending on what you're
What?
making. Oh, never mind. This is the duration. I thought that was how long it would take to make it. I was like, no, throw this in the trash. If this flies down from space, in the trash.
Now I'm looking it up too. Creation. Alright.
You make stuff out of shadows. It can't be bigger than a 5-foot cube, and it must be a material you've seen before. Some of this,
Yeah.
you could make something of adamantine for a minute. I mean, that's kind of neat. Wait, you can make vegetable matter? Does that mean you could eat it?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
You can make
But I mean, are you
gems and
gonna-
sell them, and then
are
they
you gonna-
disappear in 10 minutes.
You gonna bust a 5th level spell when Create Food and Water's 3rd level?
Somebody's got a lot of spell slots that they want to get rid of.
Yeah. Just run at 5th
Uh,
level.
Oh.
Yes, this is literally a worse version of the Song of Creation bards.
And it doesn't say it changes it, but creation takes 1 minute to cast. So you can't even you wouldn't really use this in combat, which is like Green Lantern's whole thing.
So what are you gonna make, a gelatinous cube?
I was just thinking
No,
you make that sword
a
for a
wall.
minute, but you'll have to be ready a minute before the battle starts. Hey, hold on. Give me 10 turns.
Make a wall of broccoli. And some adamantine forks and just call it a day. Good luck.
Oh, now we're back to the trident.
Yeah.
Oh,
I want it to be
Garlic
small
cake.
so I can carry it quick. Give me a fork.
this literally
Ooh.
just lets you fly.
So the suit that flies to you doesn't, but the bed sheet does.
Yeah. I can't believe
Alright.
this is very rare. It makes me angry.
I'm assuming that this is Doctor Strange's cape, yeah?
Yep. but
Why can't it
definitely
do
is
any of
not
the other
very
cool
rare.
stuff?
Right? Why isn't it alive? Why doesn't it not talk? But why doesn't it move around by itself? It should be sentient or something.
Why doesn't it why doesn't it move around by itself? Why isn't it a shield? Why doesn't it act as a companion? Like,
They're just throwing it away. They could have
it,
done so many cool things. It makes you fly.
even just the flavor of it being sentient. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to give it any other ability, but just that, like, it pats your cheek. Like, would be cool.
I also like that he forgot the L in the second flight, so it becomes if you already have the fight astounding power. I hope you're fighting. And then obviously we had to have web shooters.
Of course we did.
See, this should just have been one of the abilities
Yeah.
for hybrid or whatever.
Cape familiar.
Yeah.
That would be adorable. If you're a wizard, cape familiar. Awesome.
Oh yeah.
That's a great idea.
Oh my god, you could go that way with all clothes. You could make a whole thing like Kill la Kill.
Oh, that's awesome. That's amazing.
Sentient clothing.
It casts web. Cool.
I'm mad that you have to make a ranged attack, but it doesn't. You can't deal damage with it. You can only swing on it or pull. I mean, I guess you could pull, but like, I want to be able to ultimate. If I'm stuck to someone by something that needs a DC 30 strength check to break, you best believe I am swinging them over my head and throwing them into something.
You got the strength of a prehensile tail.
You best believe I am ultimate web throwing. Just buy a wand of web, like, ugh. You won't be able to swing, but you're probably not swinging anyway. And you can only cast web once.
Yeah, that was kind of ridiculous.
Most of these are
swinging
once
for
a
you.
day. Yeah, most of these should be odd once per day options.
Moving on to
you get to swing.
Mjolnir.
Sword hammer.
What were you gonna say, Lacara? Sorry, I cut you off.
I was just joking that you could only do one city swinging with web if you timed it exactly right at midnight.
Hold on, I gotta get out my stopwatch. Okay, we're good.
Hemsworth's hammer, obviously. It's Thor's hammer, it's Mjolnir. I will say, of all the items so far, this is potentially the only useful one.
Yeah.
Lightning Bolt is a great spell.
You get a 5th level Lightning Bolt, which is kind of cool.
Lightning Bolt can attest as a strong ass spell to have in your repertoire, especially on a melee weapon. Honestly, the only other thing I would give it is maybe an additional 1d8 lightning damage on hit, or 1d4 if you felt like 1d8
I
was
definitely
too
think it
high.
needs some kind of extra damage. I would even say, like, you can use Lightning Bolt and then give somebody Thunder Wave when you slam it on the floor.
Oh yeah.
I would take that over the extra damage. Then at least you have 2 options. But I definitely think it needs some kind of extra damage, for sure. But basically, this is just Dwarven Thrower, which is an entire class of hammers that exist already, except they put Lightning Bolt on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like they could at least have buffed up the damage that it does when you like hit things with it. Like a Warhammer is not that great.
Yeah, no. But they're pretty good when you can throw them and make them explode, right, Bacon?
We do love that. That's the volcano, something a Sun Forger from the Ravnica expansion.
It has its own. It is its own fireball and then reforms.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Untethered boots make you jump good. That's it.
Are these supposed to belong to someone?
Hulk or Superman, technically. Everyone thinks of jump good, but Superman used to be able to leap buildings in a tall bound.
That's true.
But again, like, I guess back in the day before he was flying around that often, it made more sense. Like, there's no reason to jump good when you fly.
Yeah. Also,
The Mighty
Yeah.
Tims versus the Red Cross of Power. All right. That's great
Mighty
traversal options.
Tims! I hate you!
that's pretty great.
Boots with
Moving
the fur!
past, it is. Moving past the unastounding boots comes the vengeful weave. I mentioned this to somebody I know that is getting into D&D, and they asked me that if they wanted this character to have an actual vengeful weave, if I would allow them as a player to do so. And I said, "What do you mean?" And they meant that their character would have weave in their hair that was a vengeful weave.
That's what I was thinking when I read this.
That would make
to be
so
Yeah.
much
honest.
sense. You could be Medusa from the Inhumans.
Like you have symbiotic, almost Philia hair from Skullgirls,
Oh, that
Mhm.
too.
like symbiote hair made of technology, and it made me love this item more.
I think that idea is so much cooler than what it actually is.
Yes.
Like, they went for like a strong guy. That's strong guy is strong guy is a character's name.
Okay, I
He's
was
one
like,
of the new
yes,
X-Men.
Scott, all of these are.
And his power is that when he gets hit, he absorbs the kinetic energy and it gets converted into his muscles, but he has to release it within 2 minutes or it will deal permanent damage to his body and misshape it. Or, like, Black Panther is the same idea. But they don't give you the
Black
boom
Panther's what I
boom.
was thinking.
You're supposed to get the boom boom.
Boom boom.
And I don't mean the character Boom Boom who hangs out with Strong Guy. Just
Hate it here.
why doesn't it have any? It doesn't make sense. Like, what? You can, like, you bounce. This is almost more like Speedball than Black Panther. It's not the drink. Speedball is also a mutant in Marvel Comics, and he maintains kinetic energy while he's moving, so he bounces around like a pinball.
That's not what that means. Sorry.
Yeah, no.
No, I think it needed to be said. I think it needed to be said.
He's perfectly inelastic. That's the right terminology. Okay, going back to my pedantic corner. But yes, I think the idea of living hateful hair way cooler.
Oh,
Yeah, I would much prefer this to be living hate hair. So, Tarunda Boy, if you're watching this at any stage of your existence, take that into account, please and thank you.
Yeah.
Also, the amount of fun flavor of like a bad hair day. It's no longer a bad hair day. It's a bad hair day. Your hair fights with you, literally.
I love that. It's raining too heavily and you get it soaking wet and it hates it.
Yep.
It wants to fight you because it's not a cleaning day. Oh,
It's
I love
pulling
that.
your actual hair out.
Mhm.
That character hanging out with the character that has the cape as their familiar.
Yeah.
Now it's just become My Hero Totoro Academia. Thank you.
I would watch that show.
Do you want the Green Goblin's glider? I mean, it's better than the cape, I guess.
Cooler than the armor.
That's true. It does fly, and you can fly with it.
Yeah, but then if it hits anything, it doesn't work.
That's true. You can stab. I understand the. Hey, we're making fun of. Well, not making fun of. We're paying homage to how the Green Goblin kills himself, but he doesn't stop working when it stabs through his body. It's just he couldn't control it anymore because he is dead. And only 2d6 when this thing is flying and it slams into you?
Yeah.
We've been disappointing on the damage. But again, these items as a whole have been kind of underwhelming.
Yeah.
In terms of damage and ability, so I'm sad to say I'm not surprised.
I feel like you might as well just get a broom. Just get a broom of flying.
I would allow a flavor of this being a broom of flying if you wanted to do it that way.
Yeah.
I think all these items I'd be open to interpretation for. Like anything else. Like I think
All of them, yeah. They're good jumping off points.
Yeah.
I would not be going my whole campaign trying to get one of these items. I would be so mad at the end if that's what happened.
I wouldn't attune to any of them.
Yeah. The Wishing Gauntlet. Okay. So the Infinity Gauntlet, literally down to the gems.
It doesn't require attunement.
It
Fucking
doesn't,
wish.
but while you're wearing it, at every turn you take 1d8 damage, and then when you cast it, you take 8d8 force damage. So you have to kill yourself. You have
Worth
to.
it.
That'd be the bulkiest boy.
This could have worked for. I think I was talking to you, Shin, about it. There was a Reddit post that came up for me last night where this DM was like, "Hey, I don't know what to do. The wizard in my party, we've been playing for years. The wizard in my party is at a high enough level that he has wish, and every time they go into battle with the BBEG, they start losing, and he casts wish to reverse time to right before we started the battle. And he's done this 3 times. Like, what do I do?" And
Yes.
me and like the first 10 comments are like, do you think that in a world where like gods come to visit whenever they damn well please, that someone isn't mad that you rewound time 3 times?
Yeah.
Also, why do they not have more imagination than to just rewind time? Why not just wish him dead?
You
Right?
can. You can. It's the scary thing. You can literally wish like I think it's some absurd amount of damage on top of them. Like when you, because I think there was an edition of Wish where if you wish the creature dead, it just did a ton of damage. It did something like I saw a version. I think it did like 10d8 or like 10d10 damage to the creature instantly, or
Yeah.
something even higher than that. And again, that's enough. You know. I mean, you know, I could see if you want to put rules on your wish spells to be like, oh, you can't wish something out of existence. I wouldn't mind putting that restriction on my players, just to let them be a little bit more creative. But in this guy's case, he could have absolutely just summoned something fresh up.
I'm
As for this,
surprised his wizard is still alive, because if you don't do one of the things Wish specifically states, you take damage, and then it becomes harder and harder to cast Wish. So the fact they did it 3 times, I mean, good luck on you. You did good on your rolls, bro. But you're gonna have to think up something else.
I think as an item, cool homage to the Infinity Gauntlet. I think that's really okay. Yeah.
So it seems like they're doing it wrong because when you cast Wish, there's a bunch of damage that you take and you're like totally sapped.
Yeah.
And there's a 33% chance that you can never cast it again.
Right.
So if he's done that 3 times.
Good luck on that 1%. I know it's not
Yeah.
cumulative, but it's still no. I think it is until you
No,
heal.
it's more complicated than that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Deep math.
And your strength drops to 3. I mean, he's a wizard. He's not lifting things, but he's gonna stop being able to lift his body. The final one, the Zygathian crystal.
Okay, so you have anti-magic field, but if the powers of the empowered aren't magical in the first place, you're just shutting off everybody else.
This blocks your astounding powers, but yeah, none of the actual like class or race abilities.
It's supposed to be Juggernaut's Gem of Sidorak?
I think it's
know.
supposed to be
That was
kryptonite.
kryptonite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes more sense.
This would be the thing that the unempowered hunters would hoard.
Oh,
Yeah.
Juggernaut's Gem of Sidorak would be a great item to spend a campaign trying to get.
Oh yeah, because it's got an amazing power set. But this as an item makes sense. You know, you're talking all these super powerful items. 100% agree this would be the item the hunters go for. And it makes sense. Having some unempowering crystal exist in the world to shut down your empowered.
Mm-hmm.
And I see he gave us a few more manifestation powers.
Yeah, he added some more manifestations. We are approaching our usual end point. Do you guys want to speed run the manifestations?
Speed run, speed run.
'Cause
I'm always
that's
down for the speed run.
only thing
get
we've
it
got
done.
left. Let's go.
I'm down.
Equipment expert.
Alright.
Most of these manifestations, you have to be one of the. You need one of the powers to use, so they're like specifically based in that. But if you're the DM, just be like, nah, whatever, dude. Equipment expert for vigilante. You gain proficiency with thieves' tools. If you don't have it, your proficiency bonus is doubled. That
You're an
seems
expert.
like a waste. Yeah.
It's just thieves' tools. Just go buy them.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
go buy them.
Yeah.
Grotesque. When you use your monstrous imitation,
You look
you
ugly.
frighten people. Yeah, you're ugly.
They should just be part of
It's
it.
Yeah.
it's a mutant special. Yeah.
Special.
Inspired
Inspiring.
charge. They get to dash when you give them empowered inspiration. Isn't that one of the?
Okay.
Intellect radar. You can use a reaction as for the Espers to emit a pulse that tells you the location of any creature within your kinetic range with an intelligence score that is lower than yours. So a really smart rat just blocks itself psionically from your effect.
The brain. I don't know what they're called. The brain, but they're brain rats.
It's like Doom Rats or something. No, I think they actually are called Brain Rats.
Yeah.
Okay, this is that Dr. Xavier thing that he does with the helmet.
Yep. Juggernaut. You count as a mount. I'm not. Just let people jump on your back if you're bigger than them. You don't need a power for that.
No.
Yeah.
Let me run through walls. Why?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're putting too many unnecessary restrictions. Jungle companion. It's a familiar. It's a ranger pet.
And why jungle?
I guess because
Yeah,
the
like-
hybrid is supposed to be Wukong, Aztec Wukong.
I don't. Whatever.
No, this makes me mad. Okay, kill a troll.
You learn
gain a
a
second
different
ability.
elemental infusion, not infusion.
Okay.
It's
Lighter than
kind of
air.
cool. You become One of the 5 lights, one of the first 5 mutants. What's her name? Edie. She controls temperature, so one side of her body makes fire and the other side makes ice.
Midori?
Oh
No,
yeah,
no,
yeah, yeah, Todoroki, same
Hiroki
thing.
Todoroki, yeah.
That
Okay.
just sounds like being a woman.
Cold feet, heated hands. Oh god.
uh,
Lighter than air.
I would just give this if you're going super
Yeah.
speed, like you're running. I don't.
Yeah.
Why do you need a superpower for that? Monks just get that.
Yeah.
It's part of being a cool ass monk. Mentalism. You can cast detect thoughts.
Again,
They should be part of it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Whack. Ninjutsu.
Vigilantes get another one. Empowered abilities that apply your unarmed strikes also apply to your quarterstaff or dagger, so long as strength is your body. But why strength? You're a ninja. You're dexterous. Why would
Yeah,
you use
I
strength?
hate. Oh, it makes me so angry. I'm not
Stop
punching.
it.
I'm punching them with finesse, bro. Rotten shell.
You can deal. This is actually cool,
Yeah.
but again, should have been a part of them already over pounce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And why instead of? Why not, like, add a D4 or something? Doesn't
Like
have
if
to be a
you're
lot.
dripping acid, if you stab someone, they're still
Yeah,
getting
You're still
stabbed.
stabbed. Amen. All right. Tantrum.
So the Titan can attempt to grapple as a part of the bonus action entering true form. This should have been a part of true form anyway.
Yeah, why do you have to be 9th level to get this?
Woof.
If someone's
Like-
a Titan and they're getting bigger, like the story, the cool moment implications of as you're getting bigger, you just put someone in your meaty palm. Like, oh, it's so cool.
Yeah.
Like I would have added this to everything. Anyone you intimidate, you have a chance to you successfully grapple. Done. When you're transformed to Titan form.
That's
It doesn't even have to be
sick.
anything special.
I like that.
Yeah.
Tunneler. You gain 5 feet of burrowing speed.
As a hybrid, Song Wukong.
5
You become a mole
feet.
man. You literally become a mole man.
But 5
No.
feet! You can't go anywhere! You dig the hole, and then people are kicking you in the face.
Oh my god.
I just imagine your character's 6 foot and you're just your legs, your toes are wiggling out of the hole. 'Cause you're trying to tunnel.
Oh my god.
Oh
It's
god.
like a really crummy version of what's his face from Artemis Fowl.
Mulch dig 'em!
Yeah.
At least have when you're done burrowing, you shit out everything that went in your mouth. At least get that.
And deal bludgeoning damage?
Yes! Oh my god! Mulch dig 'em's new BBEG!
See, what you guys want to do is make it useful.
Yeah.
That's not what we're doing here.
Oh,
And finally,
Zeal.
Zeal. Whenever you use the help action in combat, you can grant temporary hit points equal to a pure. Why not just, first off,
Play on hands, basically.
yeah, but help? I kudos to Thundar Boy for making help useful.
Mhm.
Because I don't think
That's
I've
true.
ever even suggested to a player to just use the help action.
Not in
I
combat.
Yeah, you're fucked if that's
Yeah.
what you have to use.
I get that, like, that's their whatever, like, their empowered inspiration, but if you're using that in comp, maybe don't do that. Please do
There's better
something
ways.
else. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
if
better
you're
things to
if
do.
you're a superhero, you better have something better to do on your turn than
Than
help
to your
somebody
lead.
else.
Hey,
We're
I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna get this guy across the street. Have some temporary HP on the house.
So his 3 errata things are like, hey, the genetic limitations is, yo, you probably might have some of the abilities that you would swap into, so just do something else. That one makes sense. You look familiar as members of your fan club cannot recognize you while you're using your secret eye. I think it's cooler if they do. But I understand they're going for Clark Kent. My favorite errata, though, the fact that he mentioned this, is that when two empowered beings that are both using unstoppable force or a movable object come into contact with each other, they both lose concentration, fly 5 feet away from each other, are knocked prone, and take 8d8 force damage. I don't know why it's only 5 feet. It should be that they're like, and then and they like fly backwards into the closest thing would be so much funnier. 5 feet is like you bounce off and then it's like in a fighting game when somebody does like their super attack and it hits like a billion times, but it's so fast your character can't react, so they're standing there for a second and then they're like, ugh! That's what's happening.
I also think it's interesting because I don't remember him talking about concentration anywhere else. Because there were definitely times where we were like, should it be concentration?
I think only is it the Titan? I think it's just the Titan has one ability that they have to concentrate for. But I think it's to hold people.
Yeah.
So if you're holding someone you bounce off, do they also take the 8d8? Because then it makes sense. You're holding an enemy and you slam into your teammate. And then the enemy also is like, ugh!
Big meaty Titans slapping Titans.
Oh man. But yeah, we finished the Empowered. We're
That's
all
it.
done. It's a lot.
I will say it was underwhelming. It's sad that the extras weren't as extra as I would have liked them to be. Not bad ideas, but I think they could do for a little bit of touch up in places.
Some playtesting.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like even though he went through a bunch of revisions for this particular class, I feel like they were theory revisions and like math revisions, not actual playtesting. Because I'm pretty sure if he was playtesting someone with a vigilante or a super soldier in a campaign where the other players were the other classes, they'd be like, why do I suck?
Yeah.
You know what? What if the next session was like the next time we did this was each of us picking one of these and doing like a one shot?
Ooh.
Oh my
Trying to
God.
make it cool.
Oh.
And actually seeing if our criticism holds up.
Interesting. Are we teammates or are we battle royaling?
Ooh.
I'd be down to Battle Royale.
I think Battle Royale would be the better way to test it. Because these are not talky people.
Yeah, there's only so much RP and non-combat encounters you can make useful for some of their abilities. The Esper, the Vigilante, they're not necessarily combat focused like the others.
Oh.
Salvagers and fight each other.
A DM showdown using these characters? I'm in. I feel like we'll have to discuss the rules over the course of the week and limitations, but I am so in. Let's see if our theory crafting can be put to the test.
Yeah.
Man. Part of me is like, I want to call Vigilante, but I also feel like that's like saying, I want to lose.
Intrigued where I think I could bring a fun hybrid to battle.
Oh, hybrid.
Oh, I like hybrid. I was going to suggest 2v2. So that way one of us, like in each pair, you could have one of the support ones like Idol or Esper and one more offensive.
Oh, interesting.
I'd probably go Elemental or Speed Demon. I'm not fucking around.
You're like, I'm here for business.
I want Esper, but I think I would want to. I feel like for Esper, you kind of have to multi-class with something that has some kind of capability.
Would you want to say that if anything, maybe there should be some tweaks to the class? Like we allow ourselves a tweak or two to
I
make it
think, yeah, I think
function?
maybe we talk off the stream about like what we're thinking of doing, so everyone like okays the tweaks,
Yeah,
and then we do it.
I like that idea.
I like that idea. Hmm.
I guess we know what next episode is, a DM showdown.
Yeah.
Forget the round table. We're flipping the table.
SuppleMENTAls Battle Royale. Oh man, interesting. I mean,
I really like
at
that.
first I was like, oh, if we're battling each other, I'm gonna have to find a map, and then I was like, ha ha ha. No, none of us have to find maps anymore. I know
Yeah.
for a fact all of us have thousands of maps
Yeah.
on
Oh,
our
yeah.
machine.
Oh yeah. A cityscape map is all we need. Just come with a token and a half a backstory. Well,
And some kind of token we can put down for which buildings have already been smashed into, maybe.
ooh, I like that. We're gonna have battle royale damage maps. This is gonna be fun. I'm super excited for this. This is
I never thought that was a turn we would take. I'm I'm here for it. The only other person I know who does stuff sort of like this is there's a guy in one of the Facebook groups. He does a thing, I think it's once a month. But basically he calls it the D&D game show, but he has like a set of traps and like as if there's people watching and what have you. It's kind of like his version of Mojo World from Marvel Comics, where like he has a bunch of stuff happening. There's some traps and there's some creatures to fight, and you can try to fight the creatures with your random characters, or you can try to like escape the dungeon. That's
Oh,
the
cool.
only other time I've seen someone try to do something like that. Interesting.
entering new territory. Let's see how well we can build an empowered.
Hmm.
I mean, we could, and depending on how we feel, we could set them at 14th level. I feel like that's the right before end capstone.
I was gonna say, are we all max level?
Oh, a level 20 empowered fight. Wow, that is.
I definitely feel like whoever the teams are, like whoever has a conduit or a uh speed demon, probably gonna win.
Well, you
Aren't
never
those the
know.
two? Aren't those the two that Bacon said he was
Yeah,
doing?
he said he wasn't fucking around.
Listen, I'm either going hybrid or Titan. I feel like Titan might be a lot of fun to just slam somebody around.
I'll have to go back and look. I love the idea of Esper, but it needs so much retooling.
Yeah. I want to do Vigilante just because, like, stealthy spooky is my thing, but I definitely know he's garbage.
In the street fight.
Unless I
you
can
know,
hide every turn and get that fake sneak attack thing in, maybe. But other than that, probably not.
we're gonna have to find out the old-fashioned way
It's true.
when we DM Death Battle.
That's great.
I was gonna say, do you think we could get it done over the week? That's the only thing I'm worried about. But I was also thinking, if there's just 4 of us and there's no other enemies doing anything, if it's just the 4 of us in the map, you don't really have to worry about it taking that long. It's just us 4. So if there's still stuff to do next week, we could get that in and ready to go if it's not quite ready yet.
Yeah.
Because 2 Mondays from now, I won't be available. But next Monday I am.
Monday works for me. So I guess people are right. I guess you're right. I really didn't expect us to take this and turn it into a battle royale. This is gonna be.
Ooh.
I don't know.
Ooh. Oh,
Well,
okay.
I don't know. Is the conduit really gonna be that overpowered if someone gets in the conduit space?
I think that they're going to be over. I feel like the conduit has the best, like, overall damage ability. If that makes sense. I think the speed demon situationally can do a lot, but I think just overall the conduit has the best chance of dealing damage. I was going to say, all of the ones that are in at the bottom of empowered extras, do you want to say that your characters just have those by default? Like whatever ability they're souping up is already in there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because those ones basically all, like, why, if you're wasting a thing on that, like, what's the point? Oh, interesting. Now I have to think about, am I trying to build a character for straight damage, or am I just building the character the way I would normally build the character? Do I want non-combat abilities, even though it's a combat encounter?
You never know how you could use non-combative abilities combatively either.
And who
Once in a
would
while.
DM? Who would adjudicate?
Ooh.
Unbiased third party.
That's true. We need another. We have to get. we have to get. we have to get Dixon to do it.
Do we need another one? I mean, if it's just a battle, it's like.
True. I was thinking one
I
of
mean, it
us
would be
could
awesome
just.
if we could get Dixon, but.
Yeah, true. Figure if it's just putting the map out, I guess we all decide on one of the maps.
Drop
And
token.
it doesn't really matter who's running it on Roll20 or whatever other service.
Token all the day.
Even if you can't, you don't have like a token that will work for you, like you don't have one lying around VTT wise, you could always just take a screen grab of whatever the picture is for that class too, and then make it smaller.
Yeah.
Or I guess Roll20 would resize it, not necessarily making it bigger, or Foundry or whatever else we're on. Ooh,
Or
things
Hero
to
Forge.
think about.
Take a snapshot.
I'm gonna have to go to bed soon.
We will definitely discuss this.
Sounds
Yeah.
good.
Valley Vajiria says she'll adjudicate the rules if we need them. If we just need like an unbiased third party.
There we go.
Grimbo suggested a VF.
Oh, VF too.
Yeah. We could ask VF. Hit him up.
Ooh, I like this. Oh, okay. Now we have work to do.
But
All
until
right.
then, folks.
Yeah. Thank you guys and gals for tuning in. I guess we're not done with Tundra Boys Empowered yet. We're gonna have a battle next week.
I'm
Thank you
excited.
for tuning in today. If there's parts of the original document you want to see us go through, those VODs are also available. Unfortunately, not on Twitch. You'll have to come to YouTube to see them. But from now on, I'm just going to keep the YouTube VOD up. I'm not going to make a highlight of the Twitch one because it's the same thing. And you can come check out the VODs on YouTube. Oh, man. Next Monday, 8 p.m. Battle. Oh, that's going to be... Wow. Okay, cool. Until then, we hope to see you guys and gals again. Hopefully next week you'll tune in for the battle of the century. A battle of the Titans, whether someone takes Titan class or not.
Spoilers.
Character sheet. Oh my god. And with that, I will start hitting buttons. I'm going to close Twitch first, so maybe YouTube will be open for like a second or two, because it has a separate button. But we will see you guys and gals next week.
If
Later,
that.
everybody.